Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Tomasulo!
Stop. Come on. All right. Okay. All right. Let's make me earn that a little bit, okay? Thank you guys all for coming out tonight. So great to have everybody here. So glad everybody could make this date. I was initially going to do this next weekend, but I got to go to a wedding next weekend. Do you remember during the lockdown when nobody could get married? How amazing was that? It's like I tell people who are getting married, I'm like, you gotta understand something. It's the most important day of your life. Do you know what day it is to everybody else? It's Saturday, and you're ruining the whole goddamn thing. And don't get me started on these people who get married on Sunday afternoons. Who raised these people? They're always like, we really just wanted a brunch wedding. No, you wanted 20% off the venue. Don't bullshit me. Who do you think you're talking to? Now, you got your brunch wedding, and I got a cha-cha slide at 2 in the afternoon on the Lord's Day. It's not proper. I don't wobble before sundown, you heathens. I won't do it. These weddings are too much work. They're all day. They do like the ceremony at 1, and then the reception's not until 6. Last wedding I went to, I asked the bride, I'm like, what am I supposed to do to kill 5 hours? And this woman goes, there's a park near the venue. I said, a park? Get the hell out of here. You're not gonna believe this. I was just telling somebody, do you know what I would love to do today? I would love to walk around a park in a full suit and tie under direct sunlight on the hottest day in July. It was like, I went over the summer, I went to a barn wedding. A wedding in a barn. That's the hot new wedding trend, pretending to be farmers. He's a doctor, she's a lawyer. They thought they'd try on lower middle class for a day. Instead of a gift, I just gave him a government subsidy, just to stick with the whole farming theme. Bride wouldn't shut up about this barn the whole night. She's like, how about this barn? Is this barn something? Doesn't it have such character? I was like, yeah, you know what it doesn't have? Central air. Nobody should be dehydrated at a wedding. Look around, these people are dropping like flies. I'm trying to take in fluids, but I can only fit so much water in this mason jar you're making me drink out of. What other ideas did Chip and Joanna give you for the big day? Should throw up a little shiplap, maybe a couple of giant clocks, you dicks. And I didn't know anybody at the wedding. Isn't that the worst? When you don't know anybody at the wedding, they put you at that table with all the other bottom of the guest list rejects, right? It's like you, their mechanic, the groom's buddy from the gym, right? You gotta make small talk with this meathead all night. Only 2 groups of people really like weddings. People in their 20s, because they're broke and it's open bar. And people in their 70s, because they're just happy they're not at a funeral. But to everybody else, it's a 6th work day. And you people who do destination weddings, you can go straight to hell. You get engaged and now I have to renew my passport? That's not how this works. It's not how this works. We had friends of ours who got married in Colombia. Yeah, neither one of them Colombian. They just wanted to be different. I was like, well, yeah, trying to avoid being kidnapped is pretty different for a wedding. Maybe for the flight home, I'll shove an 8-ball up my ass to really complete the experience of Colombia. I went to one destination wedding. It was at an all-inclusive resort, one of those all-you-can-eat, all-you-can-drink joints. You ever been to one of those? Yeah. Aren't those places like spring break for people over 75? I swear to God, every couple at those resorts looks exactly the same. It's always like a short, chubby lady in a one-piece with a sun visor, right? Carrying like a hotel-issued tote bag with everything from their room in it, followed by a leathery guy with a giant pot belly and a gold chain resting on his chest hair, just shuffling behind her, right? Just shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. On their way to the swim-up bar where they will sit all day long without getting out. Just them and a bunch of their other bladder-challenged colleagues just stewing in their own filth. Yeah, by the end of the day, just a toxic mix of urine and suntan oil and sweat makes that film across the top of the pool, right? Somebody lights a match, the whole island goes up in flames. People think Syria is the most dangerous place on earth. No, it's Sandals, Ocho Rios. That's the most dangerous place. I miss traveling. Don't you guys miss traveling? I want to travel again. Before the pandemic, I took my very first trip to Europe. I took my wife to Italy for our anniversary. And I was really nervous before we left on this trip because I'd never been to another country. You know, I didn't want to stick out. I don't want to be like one of those stereotypical ugly Americans you hear about. You know, the kind of guy who runs around another country in gym shoes and high white socks and a shirt that says back-to-back World War champs. Right? You know that guy? Because you gotta see us in other countries. We walk around like we own the joint. It's unbelievable. We're so cocky. I was at a restaurant one day. I will never forget this. I saw an American tourist get all pissed off at the waitress because her English wasn't good enough. In Italy. Could you imagine if the roles were reversed? What do you think would happen if a Mexican guy lost his shit in Cracker Barrel because nobody spoke Spanish? Huh? How do you think that story ends for Javier? If it's a stand your ground state, I'm pretty sure it's adios muchacho. I made sure I learned a couple of phrases before we went. You know, I figured I was a guest in their country. Plus, I wanted to live like them, you know? I would eat like them every morning at breakfast. I'd have like a little pastry and a cappuccino, and I'd feel so elegant and European. And then a tour group from Wisconsin would just waddle in and destroy that whole fantasy. Just a dozen wildebeests in tank tops and sweatpants, just tearing the hell out of a buffet. And they would zero in on Americans immediately. I spent the whole week pretending I was Greek so these people would leave me alone. I'm on the trip of a lifetime and some guy from Sheboygan wants to talk college football with me. No, save it for Applebee's, Cletus, not Vatican City. I don't want to know you right now. Notice a lot of differences between Europeans and Americans. Europeans are a lot more giving than we are. We're generous. There's a difference. Like when there's a hurricane or something, we'll raise millions of dollars. But let's be honest, that's really the only time we give a shit about each other. I'm guilty of it. I am. I can admit it. I would write a check to the Red Cross for $5,000 before driving anybody in this room to the airport. But they're big with gestures over there. One of my buddies went 6 months before I did. Before he left, he found some distant cousin over there that he had never met. Not only does this cousin meet him at the train station, he brought his entire goddamn village. There were little kids playing the flute, people throwing rose petals. The mayor showed up. Somebody tried to give him a goat. Like, all of this for a distant cousin he had never met. Meanwhile, I grew up with my first cousin, and I won't accept his Facebook request because he annoys me. I will say, though, that trip made me appreciate America. It really did. I know we got our problems in this country, right? But I still believe that this is the greatest country on earth. I really do. I really do. And I do think I do think you got to see some other places before you can make that determination. And I did. I saw some incredible places I could have only dreamed of, okay? But I'm going to tell you what, if you were to take away culture and history and natural beauty and food and number of educated citizens and mortality rates and access to basic goods and services and overall quality and pace of life and emphasis on things that are important and that matter, those places have nothing on us. They do seem to like us a bit more now that Trump is no longer president. Yeah. Half the room, that's about right. This is the suburbs. But being honest, it was probably less than half the room. Calm down, I'm not gonna get political. I don't want to divide the room. I know Trump is a very polarizing guy, right? He's like cilantro. Right? Or anal, right? You either love it or you hate it. There's no, I can really take it or leave it. You people who hate him, though, I'm convinced you wouldn't feel that way if he had a different job. I really am. Like if he was never president or a billionaire, but I want you to imagine that guy was your wacky local TV weatherman. How amazing would that be? How amazing. Could you imagine him in front of a weather map every night, giving zero weather, just talking shit about everybody? You would love him. Constantly making fun of all the other weather guys for how small their Dopplers are, right? Only given the temperature in places like Intercourse, Pennsylvania and Spread Eagle, Wisconsin, you would never miss a newscast. You would leave functions early to get home and watch him live. People would be like, dude, where are you going? What do you mean, where am I going? Trumpet 10. I never missed that maniac. Plus, it's gonna snow tomorrow. I'll bet you $20 he promises the anchor lady a solid 9 inches. Come on, bet me. Bet me. Come on. It was some election, right? Historic turnout, him and Biden. What was it? They said 66% of the country voted, most ever? A lot of people were excited about that number. Not me. Have you seen what's out there? Do you want 66% of those dopes out there ice skating in circles, choosing the next leader of the free world? Is that what you want? You want 2 out of every 3 mouth-breathing goblins you interact with on a daily basis, choosing the most powerful person on earth? I got my doubts about 2 out of 3 people in this room, and you people are here supporting my dreams. Every election, every 4 years, they're like, we need everybody to vote. No, we need some people to stay home. That's how we keep ending up in these messes. We don't need more people. We don't need to lower the voting age. Every year somebody brings up that nonsense, right? We ought to lower the voting age to 16. It's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. That's exactly what we need, is more voters who jerk off into a sock. That's exactly what we need. I've been saying that forever. And Roy was like, no, this generation is different. Oh, we talking about your son, the environmentalist? The one who talks about saving the rainforest, yet takes 45-minute showers every night? So that's what he's doing in there all that time, isn't it? A couple of teenagers get some attention. They think every one of them is Greta Thunberg. They're not. They're morons. My nephew just got pink eye because one of his buddies farted on his head at his sleepover. But yeah, let him vote on the fair tax amendment. I think he can handle that responsibility. No, we got to keep some people home. That's why I propose every 4 years we schedule WrestleMania, the Daytona 500, a Real Housewives reunion, a Fast and the Furious marathon. We'll keep a lot of these idiots on their couch ordering Pizza Hut and let the smart people choose the next president. Why are you all clapping? I'd eliminate half of you. Now, some young kids are politically active. They are. We saw that during the Black Lives Matter protest, right? There you go. That's an indictment on all of you, not me. Now, what a moment that was, right? For African Americans, for insufferable white kids in their 20s. Boy, did they shine, huh? I feel like every protest, I saw at least one fat white girl with blue hair just screaming in some cop's face. It's like, dude, we get it. Your father voted for Trump, and now you feel like you need to do your part. We get it. You're very upset. You weren't that upset when he dropped $250,000 on that art history degree it took you 5 years to earn. But now you're walking dogs for a living, so the struggle is real. Saw another kid, this skinny white guy with a man bun, with jean shorts, right? This dude's holding up a sign that said, "Stop killing us." Us? Did the cops shoot a bunch of hipsters? Did I miss that? Were they just rolling up on bike repair shops and thrift stores, just mowing people down? Just spoiling everybody's kombucha? These white kids are out of control. They are. But this is what you get when you have an entire generation of people who've never been punched in the face. This is what you get. This is what you get. I think we should make it a law in this country. Everybody, when they turn 18, gets punched in the face now. Right? You can't know when it's coming. When the day comes, your designated puncher just follows you around, observes your behavior, and the second you step over some social line, you know, as soon as you mouth off to a barista, fucking crack, no frappuccino for you. I just worry that kind of behavior takes away from the movement, you know, because Black lives gotta matter. They do. We gotta stop Asian hate, right? Got a lot of people in my neighborhood. Yeah, got a lot of people in my neighborhood who are putting signs in their window that say "Stop Asian Hate." And that's about it, because that's what wealthy white liberals do. They're like, "Kids, tonight we're going to make some signs and order Chinese food, out of respect." Thought about making a donation instead. I just tipped extra at the nail salon. That way it went right to the source. I don't know. I just wonder how many of these people would really put their money where their mouth is. I question that, you know? There's a house in our neighborhood, this big, gorgeous house. They got all the signs out front in their front yard, right? Stop Asian hate, science is real, love is love, Black lives matter. I want to buy the house next door. And when they come out like, "Hey, are you guys the new neighbors?" Be like, "Neighbors, what, this? No, I'm going to knock this down and build a mixed income housing development." Yeah. Yeah. 30 families from the south and west side. We didn't know where to build it, but we saw all the signs. We thought this would be the perfect place. High five, they matter. We did it. I have noticed that white guys generally don't seem to be big fans of Black Lives Matter. Know there are a lot of you here tonight. I don't really have any hard scientific data to back up my claim. But I have talked to my uncle about Colin Kaepernick, and I feel like that's a pretty good indication of the white male consensus. That never bothered me, a guy kneeling for the anthem. You know, I never felt like I had a right to be upset about that. I didn't, because I've gone to sporting events and spent the national anthem in the shitter. So, if kneeling is disrespectful, what I did in the Wrigley Field men's room in late July might have been treason. I don't know. I was thinking about it. To me, there's only one white guy who has a right to be upset with Black Lives Matter. One white guy whose life was completely and totally destroyed. The original Jake from State Farm. And that's the only one. How blindsided was that guy? was like, but wait, you guys have been telling me you love the character. They're like, no, we do love the character. We're just going to replace you with a much younger black guy, put him in commercials with the most famous athletes on the planet, and pretend like nothing ever happened. God, when that was going down, you know Flo, the progressive lady, had to be shitting a brick. Right? Right? On the phone with that mayhem guy constantly. She's like, listen, you, me, the Limu Emu, we gotta stick together. We gotta unionize. Meanwhile, poor original Jake. I give it 6 months until he's hanging out with the My Pillow guy. That's the only way this ends. It's the only way this ends. I just love how State Farm thought like that was really going to help the movement, right? All these companies, they got to take stands now, right? Because they're afraid. They're always, they always feel like they got to do the right thing. They're always getting boycotted every week and protested. People are pissed off at Amazon all the time. Listen, is Jeff Bezos the devil? Quite possibly. But is that enough to make me give up Prime shipping on a NutriBullet? Not a goddamn chance. Do you have any idea the level of evil that man would have to reach before I am ready to give up same-day shipping on any product imaginable? That guy would have to be Osama bin Laden, and even then, flip a coin. I can't make any promises. You know, I get why people don't like Amazon and protest Amazon. I even tried to. I wanted to boycott Amazon. I really did. But then my mother's birthday was on a Wednesday, and I remembered on a Monday. And I was like, these people don't need health insurance. What are you talking about? Bathroom breaks. Will that charm bracelet still get to my mother on time? Because if not, here's an empty Gatorade bottle. Get back in line, champ, and get to work. I don't mean that. We gotta lift everybody up, right? We gotta be inclusive. We're a very inclusive society, right? Body positivity. We're all for body positivity. It's a great thing. Here's my one problem with the body positive movement, though. Why is it that you can't make fat jokes anymore because that's body shaming, but Mr. 5'7" up here still hears short jokes all the time? Last week, one of my tall buddies called me Tyrion Lannister, the little guy from Game of Thrones. Every time I walked in the room, he'd be like, "Hand to the queen!" That seemed pretty hurtful. I think short jokes are way more offensive than fat jokes. I really do. Because I get made fun of for something that I have had not an ounce of control over my entire life. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I didn't get short. It wasn't like I was 6'3" and then I just let myself go. Nobody's ever been like, that Tomasulo kid could have played in the NBA, but then he lost all that height. Look at him now. Just saying, a fat guy has options and I have none. That's all I'm saying. You know, it's not like I can go on keto for a year and then all of a sudden I get to stand in the back row of a group picture. Like, this is it. This is the finished product. Doesn't matter what I do. I can do all the stretching that I want. I can drink all the milk in the world, but I will never sit a respectable distance from the steering wheel of my car. That'll never happen. Every time I get my car back from a valet, it's just 30 seconds of me going, "Brrrr." Now listen, I don't want you to get the wrong idea about me. I'm not a heartless person, okay? If you're struggling with your weight, I feel for you. I do. It sucks. It really does. But you know what else sucks? Is climbing on your kitchen counter to get a bowl off the top shelf. That sucks too. But nobody advocates for short people, right? It's not cool. People pushed and pushed and Sports Illustrated put a plus-size model on the cover of the swimsuit edition, which I think is great. I'm all for it. But do you think anybody at that magazine was like, hey, guys, next year for the cover, how about one of the Little Women of Atlanta? How about one of those 3'5" hotties? Hell, at that size, we could fit 4 of them on the cover. Because then and only then will short people have an equal footing in this society. Because right now, we're not getting the same opportunities. We're not. I'll never get a job that should go to a tall guy, but somehow Oprah's the face of Weight Watchers. Ooh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize Oprah was such a sacred cow to all of you. How dare I? But you know I'm right. You know I'm right. If you joined a gym and you saved up for months for personal training sessions, and on day 1, out came Oprah, how would you react? Be like, you got anybody else back there? Anybody? Gail? Is Gail back there? Stedman? Oprah has her own line of cauliflower pizza. What a time to be alive, huh? What a time. What a journey we're all on, huh? Huh, gang? What a journey. You notice that's a word that's overused way too much now? Everybody's on a journey now. I go on social media, I read these status updates. You know, when I started this journey, just want to thank you all for supporting me every step of this journey. It's like, journey? What journey? You gave up dairy for a month. What journey did you go on? Lewis and Clark, they went on a journey. Your ass is just lactose intolerant, that's all. I mean, listen, Columbus, I'm sorry milk gives you the shits, I really am. But a journey, how far away is your bathroom that it's a journey? What, do you need a Sherpa to get there? You loading up a donkey with supplies? What is going on over there? We have lost the ability to just be normal people doing regular things. Everything has to sound so much more special than it is. And I'm going to tell you who the worst offenders are. And some of you are here tonight. Moms, you are the worst. I go on Instagram, you guys just calling each other badasses back and forth in the comment section. It's like, look at you go, you badass mama. Look at you, you badass chica. Such a badass mamacita. I'd read these, I'd be like, what did she do? Oh, what's that? Oh, she worked and cooked dinner in the same day? Okay, yeah. Oh, what a badass. Practically Mike Tyson, this woman. I'm sure you're all good moms. I'm not arguing that. I'm just trying to picture my Italian mother in New Jersey in 1987, sitting at our kitchen table with our neighbor Dolores, and the two of them calling each other badasses in between drags of their unfiltered Newports, just like, let me get this straight. You did the laundry and picked the kids up from school? You're a real badass. You're a real Steven Seagal is what you are. We're just ruining these words, man. Everybody's a badass. Everybody's a warrior, right? Just want to give a shout out to all my gluten-free warriors out there. It's like, okay. Settle down, Genghis Khan. Let's relax. Everybody's got to hear how special they are. If you don't come out and tell them, they'll just come right out and ask you to. The other day, one of my buddies posts on Facebook. He writes, hey guys, feeling a little bit down today. Can you guys say something about me to get me going, to do what I need to do? And I was like, your rent is due next week. Get off your ass. Did that get you going? I'm not on here to inspire you, okay? I'm here to look up high school girlfriends. That's the only reason I have for this stupid app. I have no patience for it anymore. None. When I see people pulling this nonsense, I'm brutally honest with them in the comment section. The other day, somebody posted, just set a new personal best, a 12-minute mile. I was like, really? What were you on, crutches? That's a terrible time. I don't even know what setting that is on the treadmill. What is that? What is that? Elephant? Is that the setting? I'm just saying, all I'm saying is that at that speed, you're never gonna finish your journey. That's all I'm saying. I'm on a journey of my own. My wife and I just celebrated 10 years of marriage. Thank you. Yeah. It's amazing that she and I ended up together because we come from two totally different backgrounds. She grew up with a bunch of rednecks in Southwest Florida, and I grew up with a bunch of greasy Italians from New Jersey. How you doing? Yeah? How you all doing? A lot of classy broads here tonight, a lot of good-looking people. People are always stunned when I tell them I'm from New Jersey. They're like, how can you be from New Jersey and not have an accent like that? I graduated high school. That's how. But the difference is in our family. Every guy in my family is straight out of a Scorsese movie. Every guy in her family is straight out of a Toby Keith video. It's unbelievable. Any one of these guys could be a seat filler at the CMAs, no questions asked. Remember the first time I went down there and met this crew? What a shock that was. We're staying at our uncle's house and we're going out by the pool. And this guy stops me. He goes, hey, y'all going out by the pool? Do me a favor, take my 357 out there in case that gator comes around. You take him down, boy. I was like, I'm sorry. Come again? Can we play that back real quick? I want to make sure I got every last detail of that. You want me to take this hand cannon out by the pool, and in the event I see a water dinosaur emerge from that swamp that you call a backyard, you want me to blow a hole in its face while I'm laying on this inflatable swan? Okay, just wanted to... Just want to make sure we got all of that. They're such men, these guys. They are. They build their own houses, they fix their own cars, they kill their own food. That's not how I was raised, okay? Where I come from, you need something done, you call a guy. That's all you do. My people don't do things. We just showered, okay? We're not gonna ruin these pants, okay? Guys in her family don't care about fashion. They don't buy new clothes when the seasons change. If it gets too hot out, they just cut their jeans in half. Boom, shorts. And these are the men my wife grew up with. I don't know how she went from that to a guy who exfoliates 4 times a week. Every now and again, I gotta ask her. I'm like, it's the last time I'm gonna ask you, okay? Are you with me because you love me, or because you always wanted a sister? It's the last time I'm gonna ask. My family is its own bag of issues. We just saw them a couple of months ago. We were home for a family reunion. I'm Italian, I should clarify. It was a funeral, but tomato, tomato. Just as much fun. Any Italians here? Clap it up. Don't we have the best funerals? Our funerals are amazing. It's like a big party. I mean, obviously, except for one person, but people bring the whole family. My parents started bringing me to funerals at 4 years old, which, as you can tell, has had no ill effects on my personality whatsoever. And they wouldn't just bring you to the funeral, right? They would walk you up to the casket to get a better look. She's like, come on, let's go. Come on. There he is. There's your Uncle Tony. You want to give him a kiss? What? The best people watching. Italians never know what to say to the mourners at a funeral. I love watching this whole scene unfold. Just watching a guy come up with that walk, just... Hey. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? He's in a better place. Is he? He's in a casket. What could possibly be worse than that? The only place I can think of is like, I don't know, like a full Catholic mass. And guess where he's going tomorrow? Then we just spend the rest of the night talking about how good the dead body looks. That's not for nothing. Not for nothing. They did a nice job with her, no? Look at how good she looks. Minga, Patty, look at your Uncle Vito. He looks like he's taking a nap, right? Yeah, you know, you're right. I remember when he napped, he always wore a three-piece suit with a gold pocket watch. That's, you know, if you really want him to look like he's taking a nap, put him in those old Zubaz pants he wore all the time with that white V-neck with the spaghetti stain and a gold chain and a hand down his pants. That'll look like he's taking a nap. Yeah, 10 years. When you've been married 10 years, you start taking stock of how the marriage has changed and what's changed. Date night has changed tremendously for us, you know? We used to party. We'd go to clubs. We'd go to music festivals. Now we do brunch at a 2 o'clock movie. That's my Lollapalooza now. And I love it. You think getting high and listening to music is fun? Have you ever walked out of a movie theater while the sun is still out? It's euphoric. I don't know when the change occurred, but I do know the exact moment that I realized the change had occurred. We were talking to this couple we know in their 20s, and they were just going on about this date night they had, just going down this whole litany of events. And they're like, yeah, we went out for drinks, then we went to dinner, then we went to a concert, then we went clubbing until 4 in the morning. The entire time I'm listening to this, I'm thinking to myself, I would have to shoot cocaine into my balls to get through half of that itinerary. And they're like, well, if you guys don't go out, what do you do for fun? I'm like, you mean aside from watch TV? Because that's the pinnacle right now. They're like, oh, I get it, a little Netflix and chill. I'm like, no, we don't Netflix and chill. We Netflix and constantly ask what time it is. That's what we do. Every 20 minutes, like, what time is it, babe? What? It's only 9 o'clock. Get out of here. I thought it was later. I didn't feel like it feels like it's midnight. Are you sure? What does the clock in the microwave say? What does that say? Jesus Christ, 9 o'clock. All right. Well, listen, babe. Honey, we can start another episode, but I can't promise I'm gonna finish it, babe. I'm not a superhero. Some of our friends still go out all night. We can't hang with these maniacs with their 8:30 dinner reservations. 8:30? You out of your mind? That's when I'm popping my first melatonin is 8:30. I'm not leaving my house. What do I look like, a Kardashian to you? I'm right here. I'm staying right here. We don't go out with any other couples anymore. I couldn't do it. Nobody ever came prepared. Here's what you gotta understand. If you make plans to go out to dinner with me on a Saturday, I know what I'm ordering by Tuesday. Not these people. Every time the waiter would come by, we need more time. No, we don't. We made these plans 6 months ago. Why am I the only one who's been studying the menu since then? And they want to order something for the table, right? Something to share. All of a sudden, people are voting over appetizers like we're trying to pass an infrastructure bill. Be like, well, we got 2 votes for the calamari and 2 votes for the burrata. Pat, you guys are the deciding vote. What's it going to be? We vote never to do this again with any of you for the rest of our lives. I hate everybody at this table. I hope you have a terrible Christmas and your kid gets left back in school because you've ruined everything. I never wanted to vote. You know why? Because there were always people at those dinners whose opinions I didn't care about. We had this one woman in our group, right? Every time we would do one of these dinners, she would bring a new boyfriend. That guy doesn't get a vote. I don't know that guy. All I know about Todd is that 6 months from now, his name will be Brian. That's all I know about him. I am lucky, though. My wife and I, we get along as well now as we did when we met. I don't think a lot of couples can say that after 10 years. We can. People want to know what our secret is. I'll tell you what our secret is. We have built our marriage on what I feel is the single most important thing in a relationship. We hate all of the same people. Yeah. That's the key. And those of you who didn't clap, I want you to try this little social experiment. Fellas, the next time your wife or your girlfriend is really going on about some woman she can't stand, I want you to look her directly in the eyes and simply say, you know, I didn't think she was that bad. See what happens. You gotta hate the same people. That keeps things hot. Every time my wife and I go out, we'll see at least one new kind of person that'll make us look at each other and be like, can you believe this fucking guy? And we fall in love all over again. You know? I mean, we like a lot of the same people too, but that's not as much fun, right? We never leave a party and talk about those people the entire car ride home. We'll start with them to try and prove that we're not complete monsters, but it always devolves from there. It's always like, that Bob and Susan were nice. Weren't they wonderful? Yeah. But that Heather, what a bitch. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Sometimes for date night, we'll just go places and hate watch people, just to spice things up. I'll call her up and be like, hey, getting off work early. Meet me at Whole Foods in 20. They're doing a vegan baking class. Let's go get annoyed. That place gets me so charged up, it's like foreplay. I don't trust myself in that place. Everything about that place annoys me. It's far too pretentious and insufferable. I go in there to like buy a piece of meat, and within 30 seconds, I want to murder everybody in that store. It got to a point, I was one more complaining mom in Lululemon pants away from just throat punching everybody in the produce section. Come on, you've seen her in there, right? Walking around all entitled with her adopted Guatemalan baby that she named Caden. It's like, really? Really, Diane? Caden from Guatemala, that's what we're going with? So bad. Everything about that place. They always want donations for some obscure cause. Last time I was in there, the cashier was like, would you like to make a donation to fund organic gardens in schools? I was like, organic gardens in schools? This is Chicago. How about we donate to keep schools open? How about that? Right? We'll knock that out and then worry about basil after that. I was thinking about it. You could spend a day recording people in Whole Foods, and that would make a pretty solid recruitment tape for ISIS. It really would. I feel like you guys got a little bit tight. Let me clarify. I don't want anything to happen to Caden, okay? I hope he has a long, fruitful, successful life. Though at the same time, let's be honest, any kid who's yelling at his mother over coconut water flavors at 5 years old, probably not gonna grow up to be somebody we'd miss, right? Maybe we just cut our losses. My wife and I don't have any kids. When you've been married 10 years and you don't have kids, people ask you all the time why you don't have kids, which is not a question that you should ask a couple that's been married 10 years, because you may not want to know that answer, you know? Really, I mean, for all you know, maybe we want kids, but we can't have kids. We can, we just despise them, but that's not the point. It's inappropriate. So now when people ask us that question, we take it upon ourselves to reply with the most reprehensible things imaginable to guarantee those people never ask that question again. Last time somebody asked, my wife was like, well, you know, we really want kids, and oh my God, we have tried everything. But unfortunately, Pat has undescended testicles, so that makes it really difficult. And I was like, yeah, we talked about adopting one, but you know how it is. There were no white ones available, so... People can't wrap their heads around it. What's going to happen when you get old? That's the question I get asked all the time. My parents ask me that. They're like, don't you worry about who's going to take care of you when you get old? I was like, I don't know. Do you? Because I live 12 hours away. You really ought to start thinking about this. I was wondering, like, is that really something couples discuss when they're trying to figure out whether or not to have kids? Or they're like, hey, babe, do you remember last month when we both got sick? What if that happens when we're 90? You know what? Meet me in the bedroom. Let's make some hospice nurses. Come on, clock is ticking. It's gonna happen when I'm 90. I'll check myself into a nursing home. Those places seem amazing. The amount of debauchery going on there, plus a 10-to-1 female to male ratio. Let's weigh the options at 90, shall we? I could be living with my adult child and their family, who, let's be honest, probably won't want me in their house. Or I could be having unlimited casual sex with zero chance of pregnancy or recollection that it happened. I think I'll take the granny gangbang 9 times out of 10. We get a lot of friends with kids. I listen to the way they talk to these kids. All they do is congratulate these kids all day long. Any mundane, remedial, idiot task these kids complete. Good job, bud. Good job. Way to go. Way to go. Good job. So proud of you. Way to go. Do you know what I had to do to get a good job from my father? I'm asking, because it's never happened. You think I'd be doing this if I knew I had the man's approval? No! All they do, my friends, is talk about how much work it is all the time. My buddy and his wife have 2 children. They carry on like they're running a UN refugee camp out of their house. I'm at the point I just humor them. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. How do you do it? How do you do it? How do you cook all that food for a couple of 35-pound people who eat chicken fingers for every fucking meal of the day? How do you do it? Don't complain to me about how much work your kids are. Complain to your kids about how much work they are. That was what my parents did. That was my dad. He would always say stuff like, you know, I bust my hump every day, so you have everything you need? And I'd be like, yeah, that's how this whole thing works. I'm 6, so I don't know how I'm supposed to contribute right now. I'm 3 years removed from shitting my pants, so a job is kind of off the table. He's like, I'm up at 4 a.m. every day to put food on this table for you. Yep, I know, and that's required of you by state and federal law. You can't starve me just because you're tired. It's not allowed. No, I'm happy with my dog. I'm happy with my dog because a dog stays cute way longer than a child does. My dog is 11 years old. As adorable today as the day I brought her home. My niece is also 11. She's pretty tough to look at, not gonna lie to you. And I don't feel bad about saying it because I don't think she's very nice either. I go weeks without seeing this kid. She won't even give me a hug. Meanwhile, my dog buries her face in my crotch every time I walk in the door. Now, I'm not saying that I want that from my niece, but I think you understand the connection I'm trying to make between these two situations. I don't know. Marriage is hard enough without kids. That scares me. Marriage is hard. I think marriage is the hardest thing a human being can do. I really do. And I'm not exaggerating. I think that's a fact. You want to know how I know that marriage is the hardest thing a human being can do? Stephen Hawking got divorced. I feel like some of you don't know who Stephen Hawking is, so here's a quick refresher for you, okay? Real quick. This was the guy in the wheelchair who wrote theories explaining the universe using like an eyebrow to type one letter at a time and marriage was too hard for him. Do we need more? Okay, this guy couldn't feed himself or bathe himself or dress himself. And despite all of that, he gets up one day out of the clear blue sky and just says, I can't take this shit anymore. You know what happens? A lot of marriages lose the passion. That's what happens. And I'm going to tell you the exact reason why a lot of marriages lose the passion, okay? You ready? There's way too much casual nudity in a marriage. What I mean is, once you walk in on somebody brushing their teeth naked while taking a shit, there's no going back from that. And stuff like that keeps happening, right? Over and over. And then one day you're talking about refinancing the house wearing nothing but dress socks and a Fitbit. And then you're no longer a married couple, you're just two old men in a gym locker room. Can't tell you how many of my guy friends will be like, I don't get it. My wife just doesn't seem to want me the same way. I'm like, have you tried taking a leak with the door shut once, just once? So I'm going to tell you something right now. She no longer sees that thing as an object of desire, okay? To her, that's the reason she has to wet swift the bathroom floor 4 times a week. You want to get laid, work on your aim wild, Bill. That's a good place to start. You can't ever stop making the effort. You can't. My wife and I have been together a long time. I'm not going to stand up here and lie to you and tell you that it's as crazy and as hot as it was in the beginning, right? But we make the effort. I make sure every single day of my marriage, at the very least, once a day, when she bends over to pick something off the floor, I'll sneak up behind her and give her a little one of these, right? 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 Yeah, a couple other members of the club here tonight, huh? Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I'm not proud of it, okay? I don't know what's worse, the fact that I'm a grown man and I still do this every day, or the fact that every single time that I do it, somewhere in the back of my head, I'm honestly thinking, it's gonna work this time. I'm 0 for 7,000, but tonight's the night. She'd be like, you know how I told you I wasn't in the mood? I really wasn't, but once I felt your hip bones ram my ass cheeks from behind while I fed the dog, I thought, I need this gentle beast inside me. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it so good. Let's do it all night. This poor woman. I used to romance her, you know? Would take her out to dinner. She'd come home. I'd have candles lit. I'd have rose petals going into the bedroom. When did it stop? I want to know the exact day. I want to know the exact day the light bulb went on, and I was like, you know what? The hell with all that. I'm just going to send her face first into a dishwasher. That's the new move. I talk like that. That scares the hell out of my single guy friends, you know? And they hear what it's like, 'cause they're all just obsessed with sex. That's all these guys are worried about. I was talking to one of my buddies the other day. He's like, I would get married, but you get married, you're stuck with one vagina for the rest of your life. I'm like, what are you, collecting them? How many do you need? I said, listen, man to man, I'm gonna tell you something right now. You meet a woman you love, a woman you do anything for, one is enough, right? We're friends, I'll tell you, I like my wife's. There you go. Most important, I trust it with my life. Because I know everything there is to know about it, you know? It's like I know its entire history. It's like I got the Carfax, right? I know if it's been in any accidents. I know if any accidents have been in it, and it checks out. 2 previous owners regularly maintained. No major service records, right? Need a little framework after I took it for a drive, you know what I'm saying, dog? There we go. There we go. There we go. I tell these guys, listen, you're never going to stop thinking about other women. That's never going to change. You know, that never changes. I mean, of course I think about other women. Would a 24-year-old sound like fun? Sure. So would driving a Lamborghini, but I know that's too much car for me. They're the same thing. My time inside both would be incredibly short and in a horrible accident. But go ahead, you single people. Keep having your single sex with your foreplay and your multiple positions, you hot shots. I'll take the married sex over that nonsense any day. Give me that married sex. Give me that consistent, reliable, shower and brush your teeth beforehand, 3 out of 4 stars, 67 degrees and partly sunny, B-, 1 position, 10 minutes long, 2 minutes for cuddling, plenty of time when you're done for a TV show after. Married sex. Thank you. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. Really appreciate it.
Ladies, one more time for your headliner, the one and only Pat Tomasulo.